In this video, I review a brand new building heading to Kickstarter soon, if it's not already there, that is. This is the World War II Soviet Railroad by Things from the Basement. My name is Jay, and you're watching Must Contain Minis. I do reviews and showcases of miniatures and miniature-related products. Now let's take a closer look at Things from the Basement. Things from the Basement is a company that I knew of before, but I haven't yet tried their products. In looking at their products, I'm pretty sure that I've seen these airships at a gaming convention in the past. When you go to the Wargaming miniatures, you can see that they have buildings of different sorts and a couple lines of miniatures as well. You can go through that on your own time. Right now I'm going to quickly look at the buildings on a budget. And from here you can see they have several sets. They have some sets set up with Frostgrave in mind. They have some Victorian sci-fi buildings and Sleepy Hollow. I'm going to look at some of the World War II themed building sets. So you got Mediterranean Village, but there's also the Russian Village here. Now this Russian Village I've seen before on Foreground, so I'm just going to pull that up right now. And if you go to Indie Design, you can see that Things from the Basement is a partner. So if you want to get the Things from the Basement kits in colored materials, you can go to Foreground. If you want to paint them up yourself, or save some money, you can buy it from Things from the Basement. They are partners together. Again, from Foreground, you just get some of the same kits, but in a material that you don't have to paint. Now, those same buildings are available over here, but in a material that you would have to paint yourself. So I'm going to look at the farm buildings pretty quick. You can see how they look all painted up. Pretty nice. And this is how they are before you paint them. Now let's go back to their main page. So I'm going to click on home here. And you will see that they have the Soviet rail cars coming soon to Kickstarter. Things from the Basement sent me those rail cars, but I haven't built them yet. Instead, I'm going to focus on the train station today. Once you build that train station, you have a very nice looking piece of terrain. The first thing that I noticed about this kit is that it goes together really easy. Of the MDF kits that I've built to date, this one goes into the upper tier of them for not having to shave down any parts or trim any pieces to make them fit into the model. The model that they sent me is precise. While this is a pre-release copy of the product, I anticipate that it will be just as easy for you to put together too if you buy into their Kickstarter. That said, this product failed my wife's scent test. She could smell the laser cut wood as soon as I opened up the package. I got relegated to the garage to build this model. Normally not a problem, but in the Canadian winter, it's cold out there. To be honest though, she is right. This kit smells of burnt wood more so than any of the other kits that I've put together in the past. Maybe it is because it is fresh off the lasers, or maybe Things from the Basement does something different than other companies. I am told that the smell goes away over time if you leave it out in a well-ventilated area. Personally, the smell does not bother me that much, but my wife is sensitive to it, and we have to keep our loved ones happy. When the spring comes, I might air it out in the backyard or hit it with a coat of shellac or spray paint. Here you can see the detailing on the roof. When I saw all the knobs that fit into the wood, I was half prepared for a fight. Instead, it just fit together without much fiddling at all. These pieces are very precise. So far, this is a very enjoyable build. When building MDF kits, I use watered down wood glue with a brush. This helps me get the glue exactly where I want it. When I first started building MDF kits years ago, I would just squeeze the glue onto the model, straight out of the bottle. Using the brush prevents a goopy mess and makes for a clean model. In the end, you have a great looking building. Before going any further, let's look at the instruction sheet. This instruction sheet is part of the pre-release product. What you end up with may differ from this. Overall, there are some really good instructions here. Now I want to point you out to the very first line. Please read the instructions before starting construction. I did not. I ended up throwing away 3 pieces that I wish I had have kept so I could join the 2 halves of the roof together. You'll see that further down when I get talking about that. The second line I want to bring your attention to is the second line here. When opening the kit, you will notice the smell of burned wood. This is because the parts are laser cut, which literally means a very tight light beam burns through the material. So right off the top, they're telling you that they know that you're going to smell the scent when you open up the package, which did bother my wife. It wouldn't have bothered me, but we have to keep our loved ones happy. Now, when you go through the instructions, you can see there's a lot here, but they're all pretty clear, pretty easy. They're all pictures, so you don't have to worry about text or a language barrier. It just goes together very intuitively. Now, I did want to stop at instruction number 20. You see where it says cut tile ridge line from scrap piece of corrugated card, glue into place, and trim to fit. Well, I threw out my scrap piece of corrugated card into the garbage when I was done with the original roofs, so I did not have these pieces, so I ended up having to find a substitute. Now, let's get back to the model that I built. Doesn't this Soviet train station look awesome? The corrugated card adds a nice touch. It is built right onto that platform, and it went together so easy. There's the back of the model. Now it's time for some beauty shots. With the raised platforms, the World War II Soviet train station ends up taking a good amount of space on the tabletop. Those are 28mm bolt-action figures on the platform. The building has some really nice texturing to it. The corrugated card looks pleasant on the roof. You can see that I found a suitable replacement to finish them off. I just used some cardboard, but it would have been a lot easier if I had have kept the original pieces rather than throwing them out. Another shot, this time showing off the full model kit. Here I am also revealing some of the magic behind my photos. That is a Gamecraft Miniatures LED lamp that you see me using as a top and backlight. You will see a review of it coming in the future, and I will link it here. And there is also a link to that product in the description below. You can easily fit 10 miniatures on 25mm round bases inside one half of the building. The roof goes on and off the completed building so you can access the interiors. And Things from the Basement uses this peg system to keep the roofs in place while on the building. On the opposite side of the building, you can fit in 10 more miniatures. These numbers are perfect for games of bolt action. Oh, by the way, those doors work. You can open them all the way and close them. There's nice detailing on the windows too. Now let's take a look at the completed building and platforms under some optimal lighting. Overall, the World War II Soviet Train Station is a great looking kit that went together extremely easily. Special thanks goes out to Things from the Basement for sending me this kit for review. Now let's wrap things up with my final thoughts on the model. Okay, this World War II Soviet Railroad Station is a really nice MDF model set. The only negative thing that I have to say about this kit is that Mrs. Must Contain Minis does not like the smell of laser burnt wood. That smell you get as soon as you open up the package. Aside from that, all that I have to say about this model is positive things. It goes together extremely easily. I had nothing to do with sanding, trimming, or filing. I didn't have to worry about that stuff. The whole model had a feel of being made with a high degree of precision. Tricky parts that I found while I was making this included the chimney, which was kind of hard to wrap up in elastics while it was drying with glue because it's so small, and the roofs, as the roofs kind of have to go in a specific way when you use the corrugated cardboard, so dry fit those pieces first before you actually glue them down. The other downside of them all is I didn't realize that I had to keep part of that card to finish off the roof. So read the instructions before you actually build the model. I threw out a piece or a few pieces that I likely shouldn't have. That being said, with those being the tricky parts of this model, you can tell that I had a good degree of success without much effort, and the product looks really good. I like that the Soviet Railroad has built-in platforms. And as a reminder, be sure to read the instructions. Again, I can't say that enough, because you might regret it later if you don't. At this point, I am unaware of the price for the piece, so be sure to watch for the Kickstarter campaign and to check that out for yourself. I will post a link in the description below as soon as I see the campaign go live. Finally, I would like to thank Thanks from the Basement for sending me this piece for review, and I would also like to thank you for watching this video on Must Contain Minis. If you enjoyed it, please click the like on the video and subscribe to the channel. Until next time, happy gaming everyone!